Hey guys, what's up? So I've been away for TikTok for a while because I was working on some side projects, right? Been working on some custom themes and custom plugins. Right. So one of them is this SwiftPress. It's going to be an open source and it's a full site editing starter theme for WordPress developers and for designers. So if you want to use it as a developer, you can clone it. Go ahead. Then if you want to use it as a WordPress designer, you can just download the theme from my repo and see it will have some kind of updates. The same way you get updates when you use any theme from when you use anything from the WordPress repo. Also, it will be submitted to WordPress repo. And before then, before the approval, you can download and use as the normal theme you use. Right. So, how is this particular theme structured? How is it structured? So, it's a full site editing theme, like I said. You can have it here. I'm ensure the code are compatible with WordPress coding standard and the PHP coding standard. So, I am using Composer Composer to ensure that coding standards stuff. And then if you are using it as a WordPress developer, you want to use some .env file or like you want to do some things that requires Composer, you can to be easier for you, just a click of a button, right? And then for the bundling of the files, I'm using Vite, right? I'm using Vite, which is handling the bundling of my CSS file and the JavaScript, right? For the styling, I'm using Tailwind CSS. So basically, I'm using the Tailwind installation through Vite, right? So through Vite, then it's definitely going to require Vite. Or do I keep calling Vite and Vite? All right. So Tailwind CSS is used for the styling, and then you can still go ahead to expand this Vite config to in case you want to modularize your JavaScript files, or in case you want to have some kind of code splitting when you are enqueuing your assets, you can go ahead to modify this. But presently, I'm only like having the style for the blocks and patterns in a separate folder. So everything is not going to be compiled into the style.css, which is like the global styles, right? So the theme.json also will be modified, will be worked on to make it super ready for WordPress designers, the people that cannot code. We work on it to make it super ready for them in case they want to have some things that do not come by default with the full site editing themes or with WordPress Gutenberg editor. All right, like I said earlier, it's compatible with WordPress coding standard. Then I already have the contributing file. The license file is there. So if you're a WordPress developer, you love this kind of open source project, you love to contribute. If you love to contribute, you just need to you can reach out to me or check my repo, Dapo Bimbe, Dapo Bimbe. You see the WordPress team there. You can clone it, contribute, you can create a pull request, and then we get it started from there. If you also want to sponsor, if you want to sponsor, probably you are an agency, you love to sponsor this kind of open source, you are more than welcome to DM or reach out to me. Right. So presently we have just four styles, apart from the default style, the theme.json. We have four styles: deep sea, black gold, slate gray, and midnight blue. So where are the styles coming from? That's the copyright or the courtesy goes to colors. So I'm using colors palette for the creation of the style. So if you are a WordPress designer now, you don't know how to code, then or probably you don't have a style or a brand guide for the project you want to work with, you can go over these styles that will be more added. You can go over them, you can see the one that suits the kind of project you want to do, you can just use it. And then there will be just patterns created, patterns for call to action, zero section, footer, headers that has been made responsive, right? It will be made responsive so that you don't actually need to, as a designer, you will not need to write a single line of code to ensure your header template or your footer or any other pattern you are using is mobile responsive because it will have been made responsive for you. Then if you want to do anything extra, probably you know how to code. It's best to clone this particular theme or create a shared theme for it so that you get access to the updates I'll be making and probably other developers that will join me will be making. And then the updates that you'll be making from the theme will not override what you've done. So it's best to have a shared theme of this SwiftPress if you want to have access to what the theme has. You want to have your own custom designs based on this theme. Right? There are some parts here, just footer, header, and sidebar. Right? The template parts we will include it to we expand it to include some custom post types, especially WooCommerce. So we include the WooCommerce, templates. You can have some other custom post types, so you can use it based on the kind of project you want to build with it, either a portfolio or an NGO site or something of such. We expand the templates to include those files. Right. So the theme also coming with a default plugin, which I call Swift FSE blocks. Right. We contain tons of custom made blocks that are compatible with GSAP, compatible with SwiftPress and some other popular modern JavaScript libraries that you can use for some kind of animations or effects in the block editor. Probably you want to have some animations in the use while you are using this particular theme, or even if you are using any other theme. But the theme must be a full site editing theme, or probably you're just using it inside your posts. Because if you love to use block editor as a post, then it will be cool. And then Swift block animations, another plugin I've been working on, is going to be open source too. It's almost ready. I'm just going to check one or two things before I submit it to the WordPress repo. Even before then, you can still download or use it from my GitHub, right? So the Swift block animation is something similar to what Elementor has. When you want to add some motions, entrance animation, right? It covers all the animations that Elementor has, right? So you can use it. It comes with staggering, right? There's a stagger effect. Probably you have three cards in the same container, and you don't want them to show at once, so you can stagger it. Maybe the first one shows, then the next one shows maybe 0.5 seconds after, or something like that. You can stagger it. So it contains all those animations, just similar to what we have in Elementor or the animate.css. Right. It's waiting for it to get ready and then submit to WordPress repo and see how it goes from there. If you also want to contribute, I already have one that I'm working with, so make it compatible with GSAP. But that one is kind of tricky and tough because connecting with GSAP means I'll need to use all the GSAP plugins, Growth Trigger, the Split Test, the Test, and others. And it has to be in a way that is seamless for people who cannot code to use. But then, if you can code, you can probably do your thing inside your code, just the same way you would have done it if you are working with Elementor, right? Then I have the Updater Server, which is a plugin I've created for updating my themes and plugins in case I don't want to have them on WordPress repo, or in case I want to make them premium, fully premium. So to be uploaded to my personal website where I can monitor how those plugins and themes are working. The update server is merely using the WordPress HTTP request, get request, the post request to connect my server and the client or the users of my plugins or themes. Right. Those are the things I'll be working on. So let me just show you how the theme working. You can see the plugins here. This AWC block kit it includes some custom blocks that are built using ACF. If you know about ACF or you know PHP very well, you can use those kind of blocks. You can extend it, but you cannot extend if you are not conversant with PHP. Super cool. But you can also extend the Swift block animation if you are good with React, because it's used the WordPress scripts, which is the React interface or React syntax, right? Right. So if you go to the editor now, you go to the editor, the SwiftPress is presently installed and activated. So when you go to the editor as probably as a user of this, all right, so this is the site editor now. Why the SwiftPress theme is installed. So currently I'm just demonstrating the use of this content slider. It's a custom block also, but it's inside our Swift FSE blocks, right? Content slider where you can create slide using any other blocks. Right, so if you check the style, like if you don't want to use this default style, you can just browse styles and pick from the ones that I already had and that will be included, right? You can also get the animation, you can see the templates, you can see the patterns that has been created, right? More patterns will be added, so you can just pick the one that matches what you want to do. So, guys, that's what I've been working on. If you are a full stack WordPress developer, you love to contribute to this kind of project, either to the theme SwiftPress or to the plugin SwiftPress FSE blocks, where you can create custom blocks using the WordPress scripts that uses the React syntax to do that. If you want to do that, you definitely be conversant with React. So you want to work on something like that. You want to contribute, you're more than welcome. If you want to sponsor, you are more than welcome to sponsor. Right? So let me know what you think. Would you like to join, or do you have a WordPress developer you would love to share this video with? All right. I'll see you in the next video.